Hello, it's Marco again, and today I want to talk to you about tight hamstrings, which is something I see a lot in the studio with quite a few of my clients, but I also have tight hamstrings myself, which is something that, let's start with the men, and then we move to the women, but men in general have tight hamstrings. I would say. Most of my male clients have tight hamstrings. It's a bit how men are built. It's how we just are. And it doesn't mean you have to have or keep tight hamstrings, because you can do something about it. Tight hamstrings usually means, or how I see that, is that you can't straighten your legs, whether when you're sitting or when you're lying on your back or when you're standing, and it's a bit amusing to sometimes see when I ask, for example, people, men in this case, to show me how their back is, for example, working. So they stand and lift your arms up and then round forward and try to touch the floor. This is what a lot of people do. They may do it in the shower in the morning or when they get up. And it's quite easy to see, and it's a bit funny, is that I can touch the floor, but they have to bend their knees. And then of course you can touch the floor, but try it without bending your knees. And then see if you can still reach the floor. So not necessarily this has something to do with tight hamstring. It's usually also a tight lower back. But the tight hamstrings do play a role in this not being able to touch the floor. So now tight hamstrings are usually not something that is just on its own. There's usually other things tight as well. As I said, a tight lower back, a tight hips in the front. There's a few things not working at the same time or not using your abdominals in the right way. But tight hamstrings also comes from sitting a lot. Because then the back of the legs become tight, the front is tight, the hips are tight, so tight hip flexors is all a bit related to each other. How we try to get rid of that, this may take some time. I mean, I've been working on my hamstrings for the last 10 years, and they're still probably not as straight as they could be, but I'd like to think I'm not a ballet dancer. But I've got them quite straight over my legs, or stretched my hamstrings out. Maybe that's a better thing to say. And you also may think that women don't have tight hamstrings, which is also not the case. I have quite a few clients who have, female clients, who are also tight in the hamstrings. So what we do with that is try to stretch these out. Try to use your abdominals more, use your buttocks more, strengthen your hips. And we have several exercises on different equipment that help with tight hamstrings. Working against the springs on the reformer is for sure something that will help. When you push out the carriage, and we worked 4 springs, they're quite heavy, you have something to push into. There's a tendency to glide a bit up and down, especially on more contemporary reformers. But with the classical reformers, you have to push into the springs, and there's an opportunity for you to stretch your legs properly, and as opposed to a bit of an up and down movement, which is not what it should be in the first place. So that is something we do. We work with leg springs on the tower or Cadillac, which is another opportunity for you to push your legs out and really extend your legs, or reach from the hip into the springs through the toes to stretch your legs. So those are a few simple examples of how we work with that. See you next time. Thank you.